this episode of the Engaging Marketeer, I wanted to talk about something which is a question I was asked recently at a networking meeting, and that was, how do you know the right type of marketing to use for your business? So when I say the right type of marketing, I'm talking, should you use SEO, search engine optimization? Should you use Google ads? Should you use Facebook ads? Should you use email marketing? How do you know what's right for you? Because there's lots of different methods you could choose, and quite often people will go with the first one that they've heard of, or the first one that they've read about, or in some cases the first one that somebody else has tried to sell them as a service. They won't necessarily know anything about it themselves. So how do you know? How do you know what's right for you? And the answer, unfortunately, kind of comes down to a little bit of experience and an industry understanding. I'm going to try and give you some pointers along the way as we go about this. So I've been in this industry since the 90s. Not 1990, I was in school then, the late 90s, so 98, 99. And obviously Engage Web has been running since 2009. So we've worked with a lot of industries over the years. And there are different types of industries that work better for different types of marketing. So firstly, let's look at Google Ads, for example. Google Ads themselves can be quite expensive as an ad platform. So Google Ads are only really going to work for you if there's search volume for the type of product or service that you are selling. If your product or service is particularly niche or particularly new, when there isn't really any sort of search volume for it in existence, then it's not going to work, because you need people to be looking for what you do. If they don't know that your service exists, they don't know that your product exists, then the search volume isn't going to be there, so it's never going to work in the first place. You need to educate your potential client base, your potential customer, on the solution that you have so that they know that it is a thing. So Facebook ads will be a lot better for that, because with Facebook ads, you can put something as a solution to a problem in front of people who are your ideal target audience, if that makes sense. If there is a high search volume already for a problem that you solve, then Google Ads has a better chance of working for you. But equally, you need to be competitive, either in terms of price or in terms of conveying the value, because with Google Ads, you're going to be alongside other people advertising the same thing. And if you are a lot more expensive than them, then you need to be able to demonstrate why. And if you can't demonstrate why with your ad and with your landing page, then it's very easy for someone to just click back and go to the next person who's going to appear to be better value than you because their prices are cheaper. So if you're not competitive, if you are, say, 10, 15% more expensive than your next competitor, and it's essentially the same product or the same service without any additional upsell in value, then Google Ads is not going to work from you, because you're going to be right next to everybody else. Now, Facebook ads, for example, there are certain things you cannot advertise on Facebook, even if you wanted to. Facebook's got a big no-no on MLM, multi-level marketing. And when I say multi-level marketing, I mean things like Utility Warehouse or Avon or Arbonne or Juice Plus or Tropic Skincare. It doesn't allow any of those types of products and services to be advertised on Facebook ads. But that's not to say people haven't done it, because they do sometimes, and it slips through the net and they get away with it. But you can't set that as a long-term strategy for Facebook ads, because Facebook, by its definition, doesn't permit those kind of ads. Equally, if your product is of a sexual nature, not for health purposes, but for enjoyment purposes. So, for example, we've worked with a sex toys retailer in the past. Very, very exciting, very, very great content we had to write for that. Very eye-opening in more ways than one, I can assure you. But that wouldn't work as a Facebook ad, because it's not permitted. So if you look at some of the big sex toy retailers, like Love Honey, for example, advertise on TV, don't advertise the products on Facebook because it's not permitted, or at least it wasn't at the time of recording this podcast. Who knows whether Zuckerberg will change his mind on a day-to-day basis, and whether Facebook will change its mind on a day-to-day basis. It's entirely possible. But that doesn't work on Facebook. Whereas if your product, let's say, is particularly dry, let's say your product is insurance or will writing, they are more matter-of-fact products and tend to work better on Google Ads unless you can play into the fear factor of will writing or the fear factor of insurance, in which case you can make that work as a Facebook ad. But you've got to be careful with a Facebook ad for something like that, because one of Facebook's particular rules that you're not allowed to do is you're not allowed to imply that you know more information about the person than you should. So if you were to say to somebody, for example, are you underinsured? Then that might suspect that you know they're underinsured. When how could you possibly know that? And Facebook's really funny about that, about using the word you to suggest you know more about somebody. So it's very difficult to get the wording right on a Facebook ad without falling foul of Facebook's rules. So there's lots of different things to think about with the type of service and the type of product that you're advertising and the type of advertising that you're going to do. Now, SEO, for example, search engine optimization, that works for pretty much any industry. That will work for any industry, and you can, assuming you have the budget and the time, make that work for you. But that's the key, it's the time. Because when you do SEO, and I'm going to call it SEO because that's what I refer to it as, so please understand, search engine optimization, SEO, and it takes too long to say it out in full. When you do SEO, it's not a quick fix. It's not a overnight sensation. It's not suddenly going to change your website and make it incredible and get you loads and loads of traffic. It is something that builds over time. So if you are trying to get sales within the next 2 to 3 months, then SEO is not going to cut it for you. It's not going to work. If you're trying to get sales within the next 6 months, SEO probably isn't going to work for you. You need to use that as a long-term strategy, as a strategy to build for the future. But boy, does it work if you build for the future. Boy, does it work. So some of our most successful clients have been with us over 10 years. Over 10 years, because, and this is something we've started talking about in presentations, SEO has something of a compound interest impact. So if you start to do it over the first 6 months, over the first year, over the first 2 years, it's getting little result, very little result, whereas Facebook ads and Google ads can be instant. But it starts to get stronger. Your website starts to get stronger, starts to get more impact, starts to get more links, starts to get better rankings for a variety of different terms across a variety of different sectors. And there gets to a point where you see the compound interest effect of having SEO over a long term, having the content over a long term, gets you to dominate your industry for phrases that you couldn't even imagine because the content is working that way and the SEO is working that way. So if you can stick at something for 3 years, for 5 years or longer, SEO is absolutely the right thing for you. If, however, you're thinking, I just want this business to work for 6 months or for 12 months and then I want out, then SEO is not going to work for you. It's not that fast. It's not like turning on a tap. Then you're going to want something like Google or Facebook to do that. So I don't think I've really got an answer for you there. So how do you choose the best type of advertising platform for your business? Well, to give the old SEO answer to everything, it depends. It depends. It really depends on what your industry is, what your budget is for your advertising, how you gauge yourself against your competitors in terms of price or perceived value, how long-term you want your marketing to be, how long-term you want your business to be, and essentially what you want to get out of it. The best marketing campaigns would involve a combination of several different styles of advertising. If you put everything into Google Ads, for example, as soon as you stop paying for Google Ads, all your business stops because you've turned them off. Equally with Facebook ads, you put everything into Facebook ads, you turn it off, all your business stops. It's not a strategy for a secure stream of revenue, of sales and leads. But if you do a combination, that is the best way to do it. Particularly because if you are running SEO and feeding traffic into your website, feeding people into your website, and they don't convert with you, they don't buy from you straight away, they go away again, you're then able to retarget those people on Facebook with a retargeting ad. You feed people into your website via PPC, you can feed them back in via Facebook retargeting ads. If somebody Googles you and finds you via a PPC ad and comes through to your website, doesn't buy, they go away again, they think, what was that company? And then they Google you again, but you rank organically on SEO, then you're going to get them back in that way. They work in a combination together is the best way to do it. Is the best, most efficient and most effective way for your marketing. So maybe it's not really an answer of what is the best platform for you, what is the best method of advertising for you. Really, it's a combination of all of them. And I'm afraid that's the best answer I can give. That's the best answer I can give. So on that bombshell, thank you very much for listening to this episode of The Engaging Marketeer. If you liked it, then please give me a subscribe, give me a follow on whatever platform you are listening or watching this on. And if you're on iTunes, please give me a rating. Please give me a 5-star rating and leave a review. I would love to know what you think. And I will catch you on the next podcast.